Okay, so then this is section 12.2, and we're going to be talking about surface area of prisms and cylinders and volume of prisms and cylinders. So for problem number 1, it says find the lateral area, surface area, and we're going to add here volume. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and get lateral area, surface area, and volume. Of each right prism. So what I recommend that you do on these problems is, first, since we're going to be working with the perimeter, find the perimeter. And then find the base. And by base, we're talking about the area of the base. Okay, B would be the area of the base. So we're going to let this be P. This would be B. And then the height. And when we say height, is the height of the prism. So that would be represented by the H. So for the perimeter, we're talking about, what's going to be the base. Well, the base, I'm going to consider this being the base. Okay, so my base would be this right here. So now, by the way, when I give you a rectangular prism, more than likely I'm going to be telling you use this, and I'm going to shade those different color to be representing the base. Okay, so this would be the bases. Okay, so if I want to get the perimeter of those bases, so perimeter is twice the length, right? So it's twice, God bless you. The length could be 4. So it's 4 feet. And then is twice the width, and the width is 3 feet. So when you combine those, it would be 2 times 4 is 8. So it's 8 feet plus 6 feet. And that equals what? 14? Okay, it's 14. 14 feet. So the perimeter is 14. Base. So by the base, we're talking about the area of the base. So area of the base is a rectangle. What's the formula for the area of a rectangle? What is that? What's the formula for the area of a rectangle? Length times width? Okay, so it's length times width. So length would be 4 feet. The width is 3 feet. So 4 times 3 is 12. Feet times feet is square feet. And the height. So what is the height? Well, the height is a segment that connects the base and the, actually the two bases. I'm trying to get this. Okay, so the height connects the two bases. So what is the height of that prism? That would be 9. That's right. So this is 9. Okay, so now that I have my 3 main pieces that I need for my lateral area, my surface area, and the volume, for lateral area, as we mentioned on the foldables, on those prisms, the lateral area is the perimeter times what? Times the height. And since the perimeter is 14 feet, times the height, which is 9 feet, and that gives you 9 times 14. How much is 9 times 14? 126. And then is feet times feet is square feet. Yes, okay, so that's the lateral area. Okay, now surface area. Well, the surface area is the lateral area. As I mentioned about the room, is the walls. Those would be, considered the lateral area. And then if it's surface area, we're talking about ceiling and floor. So as we add those two, that would be plus the two bases. When I substitute the numbers, the lateral area, we got 126 square feet. And then plus twice the area of the base, and the base is 12 square feet. And then just put that in the calculator. That would be 24 plus 126. That gives you 150, right? 24 plus 126, 150. Yes. So it's a square feet. So that's the surface area. And when I want to find out what is the volume, which is the area and then multiplied by the height, so area of the base times the height. The area of the base of that rectangle is 12 square feet. Then times the height, and the height is 9 feet. So 12 times 9, how much is 12 times 9? $108, so it's 108. And then square feet times feet is cubic feet, right? So there's the volume, there's the surface area, and the lateral area. Any questions about number 1? So far so good? Okay, now let's go ahead and try number 2. Let me let you work on it, and then we'll check the answers. Jackie, did you get perimeter 12.4 centimeters?
Yes.
The area of the base 5 centimeters? And the height 7 centimeters. So everybody okay with those pieces of information so far? And by the base, we're talking about the base being a triangle, right? So base is 2, height is 5, and 5 times 2 is 10 divided by 2 is 5. Now the perimeter is the 5.4 plus the 5 plus 2. That's the perimeter of the base, which is 12.4. Okay, so Jackie, what did you have for the perimeter? I mean, for the lateral area. What are the numbers that you use?
I did 12.4 times 7.
12.4 centimeters times 7, which is the height, and that give you what? 86.8, and then this is square centimeters, right? So that is the lateral area. What about for the surface area? What did you do?
I did 86.8 centimeters.
8 centimeters square plus 2 times 5, because the area is 5, and this is a square centimeters, right? It's supposed to be square centimeters, 5 square centimeters. And when you add those two, that gives you 96.8, and this is in square centimeters. This is 2 times 5 is 10, added to the 86 is 96.8. Great. And now for the volume, how would you get the volume?
Plus 10.
Yeah, plus 10.
I multiplied.
You multiply? No, you're supposed to, well, 5 times 2. It's okay.
What's going on?
You're supposed to add them up. And that's what you got a big number, Alex. Okay, that's okay. So the area of the base, Jackie, is 5 square centimeters. And what's the height? 7. I know it can get. So let's continue. So, Jackie, what did you get for the volume?
35%.
35 cubic centimeters. That's right. Okay, so there's the volume, surface area, and lateral area. Any questions about prisms to get those 3 pieces? No? So far so good? Great. Okay. So now let's go ahead and move on to cylinders. So in plan number 3, we want to find not only the volume. Let's go ahead and add here. We need to find the surface area, lateral area, surface area, and volume of each cylinder. And we're going to give the answer both in terms of pi and also rounded to the nearest tenth. So for, first of all, here I need to know what the circumference, because in prisms I need the perimeter, but in cylinders I need the circumference. So, and the formula for the circumference is what? 2 pi r. And we need here the area of the base. And since the base is a circle, then the formula would be pi r squared. And we need the height. And this is the height between the two circles, the two bases. That would be the h. So when I substitute the numbers, for the circumference is 2 pi times the radius, which is, what's the radius? 8. When I simplify that, 2 times 8 is 16, isn't it? So it's 16 pi millimeters. For the area of the base, that would be pi, the radius is 8 millimeters square, that would be 64. So 64 pi square millimeters. And for the height, well, that is the segment that connects the two circles, the two bases, and that is 10. Then once I have those three pieces of information, I can find everything. The lateral area, the surface area, and the volume. So for the lateral area, and by the way, on that worksheet you have all the formulas. Okay, so when I go back to that. But the lateral area, if we understand, the lateral area is just the circumference times the height. You know, the length around the circle, around the base times the height. And the length around the circle is the circumference, which is 16 pi millimeters times the height, which is 10. And when you multiply 16 times 10, you multiply the number with the number, that is 160. Then you keep the pi, and then millimeters times millimeters gives you square millimeters. Now that I have the surface area, this is in terms of pi, I need to get that approximately. So put that in the calculator, 160 pi, 160 pi. And how much is that approximately? 502. This is to the 10th, 0.7. And this is the square millimeters. So that is the lateral area approximately and exact in terms of pi. Now for the surface area, well, the surface area is the lateral area plus the two bases. And the lateral area in terms of pi, I'm going to get my answer in terms of pi, 160 pi plus 2 bases, and the area of the base is 64. So let's just put that in the calculator. What you're going to put in the calculator is 160 plus 2 times 64. And what did you get? So what is that? What did you get from adding 160 plus 2 times 64? 288. This is pi, and this is square millimeters, okay? And approximately, now multiply that 288 times pi, and what is that to the tenths? 904.8, and this is the square millimeters. So you have the exact and you have the approximate answer, okay? And for the volume, all we have to do is get the area of the base times the height, and the area of the base, it's 64 pi square millimeters times the height, and the height is 10. So exact, that would be 64 times 10, which is 640 pi, and this is the square millimeters. Well, actually it's cubic, right? Because the square times one more, that is cubic. And approximately get 2010.6, and this is cubic millimeters, okay? Any questions about this? Now you try number 4, and we'll check that in a minute.